This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Oh, hey, it's you. I was just, doing my Aurebesh homework. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Coffee with Kenobi Live. This is your host, Dan Zera. I'm delighted to be talking Star Wars with each and every one of you. We have the live show Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, I'm Dan Zera, excited to talk Star Wars with each and every one of you. Look, it's the Christmas season here in the Coffee with Kenobi studios. We got some Star Wars, we got some Christmas trees, we got some Charlie Brown. Life is good. Let's do it. Jason is here. Hello, Jason. He says, Henrik and I are excited for the show tonight. Well, Henrik and Jason, it's great to see the both of you. Mary is here. Hope everyone is staying warm tonight. Mary, it is, I'm going to check. It's 19 degrees here. And that is not with the wind. It's cold. It is cold. So thank you for the well wishes. Adam is here. Hello there, Adam. I love your new appropriate profile picture of Grogu with the Santa hat. Tyler Pompa, what is up? Hey, man, great to see you. He says, actually had some free time to join. It was nice to see you, bud. Great to see you. Hope you and your family are doing well. David, hello, buddy. He says, hello, CWK family. Great to see you, David. Jason says, I love that Charlie Brown decoration. I got that from Super 7, and I was very excited about it. It's super cute. Podcast of the Wills joins us. Happy Tuesday, Dan. Glad to see you. Hello, buddy. Great to see you as well. Well, we've got a fun show. A couple of new little wrinkles. We're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about your top 5 Star Wars toys. Darren, hello. He says, wow, some studio changes. Yeah, Darren, great to see you, buddy. You had to spice it up for the Christmas season. We've got Star Wars news and merchandise updates, and Aurebesh lessons continue. So now let's take a look at what is brewing in the world of Star Wars this week.
And now, let's see what's brewing in the Star Wars universe this week.
Oh, where'd I go? You know what? I know where I went. There's no news this week. There's really not much news going on in the world of Star Wars. So we're going to just jump right into merchandise. You probably saw this, and I'm going to apologize in advance for seeing my dopey pictures everywhere, but Columbia was kind enough, as you know, from an earlier show, to send me the brand new Skywalker pilot jacket and some of the other great things they're offering. The sale is December 1st. That is when they go on sale, just a couple of days away. Got a lot of great questions about these, a lot of nice messages too, so thank you everybody for that. This is the jacket, and I finally got a chance to get outside and take some pictures with it. Kudos to my son Parker for taking these. So there's the front of the Skywalker pilot jacket. There are two. This is a lighter weight one, but I wore it today, and like I said, it was 19 degrees out, and I was very warm in this thing. So they're warm. Columbia stuff is always great. There is the interior with it's got the pocket, and it's got the blueprints of the snow speeder, and you can kind of see the, I don't know what it's called on the sleeve, like the piping. I don't know. But the stripes, just like Luke's pilot outfit that he wears when he's in the snowspeeder. Terry King is here too. Hello, Terry. Great to see you, pal. Nice to see you on the show. Here's some more pictures. This is a close-up of the sleeve with the Rebel insignia on it. That is on the left sleeve. And then here we have the jumpsuit. This is, well, it's not a jumpsuit, but it's a snowsuit. It's one you could wear for skiing, playing in the snow, piloting in a snow speeder when you're going to take down AT-ATs. You're threatening to destroy the generator on your Rebel base of Hoth, whatever the case may be. And I've received a lot of interesting comments about it. I don't know. There's a picture. Parker, I didn't ask to take all these certain kind of pictures, but Parker took one, and I'm glad he did. It looks cool. You can see the back of it. But this thing is also extremely warm, and you can adjust the sleeves and the legs, the waist. It's great. I really like it. I can't wait till it snows hardcore here. Maybe I'll regret saying that, maybe not, so that I can play outside with Mason while wearing it. Now, anyone else? Any close-up pictures of the inside diagram? I posted them actually on Coffee with Kenobi, and I think I put them on Instagram, but if not, Darren, I will do that after I do the show tonight, so you can take a look. Tyler, that Columbia stuff is always great quality. I love that Mando coat and still wear it. Oh, Tyler, that's great. I'm glad you love it. It is really, really nice. And Darren, now that you mentioned, I think I posted stuff in the cafe. So check it out. Send me a message and let me know. If not, I'll send pictures right to you. So this is the Imperial Fleet Pack Puffer. This is from Heroes and Villains, who I've been working with. And again, I've had a lot of people message me, what's that code again? It's coffee. It's the first word of the 3 words of the name, Coffee with Kenobi. You put in the code coffee, you get 20% off your order. Boom, everything. This is the jacket that they sent me. It was really nice. There's the back of it. It's got the Star Destroyer on it. And this one is a little bit more lightweight, but it's really great. I mean, it's very, very comfortable. It's very, very warm too. And I like having something that is warm but not super heavy. On the side, this is the left sleeve, is Aurebesh, which I do not see the letter A on there. That's all I've learned so far. So hopefully you're recognizing that too. There is the other sleeve. It's basically a smaller version of the back of the jacket itself. And there's a close-up of the emblem on the chest. So again, on the left side. Again, the Imperial Fleet Pack Puffer. If you go to heroesvillains.com and type that in, you will see it. And again, put in the code 20% off. Put the code coffee, easy for me to say, put the code coffee on for 20% off your order. It's worth it. Love it. Okay, this was announced today. These are available for pre-order tomorrow, November 29th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time exclusively at Target. This is Black Series Phase 1 Clone Trooper Lieutenant and 332nd Ahsoka Clone Trooper. So there you have it, different helmets. The armor is, of course, slightly different. You got different blasters, but they're Black Series. They put them together. You can only, again, get that at Target. Again, that is available tomorrow. If you're watching this live, or if you're listening to this tomorrow on the podcast feed, you know that at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern, these are on sale exclusively at Target. There's one other thing as well. We've got, also at the exact same time, these are vintage collection figures, and they're awesome. These are more clone troopers. We've got a range of the different styles, but it's a 4-pack. I didn't put a picture of the actual case itself, but this is all the figures inside, including vintage collection Ahsoka Trooper, which I think is really great. And getting all of them together. If you're a big fan of the clone troopers, I think this will be the way to go. Now, this is available exclusively at HasbroPulse.com, but later, at a later date, it didn't say when, but on a later date with Shop Disney. Tyler says, so happy that they're finally doing troop building packs for Black Series. They are, Tyler, and you're one of the first people I thought of because I know how much you like them. Gentlemen, thank you for the compliments on the Christmas decorations. They're fun. I've actually got a lot of Christmas ornaments to put up there, but I haven't gotten a chance to do that yet. I'm definitely going to. Mr. Fudge says, that looks so cool, very detailed. Yeah, they're nice. They're super nice. Okay, so now, that's pretty much all the merchandise news I have for you. No real Star Wars news to speak of this week that we're going to talk about on the show, but it is time to jump into our lessons. I've tried to step up my game a little bit for the Aurebesh lessons, so we'll see how it goes. I don't have any clever little jingle for that, but here we are. As you know, last week we started with the letter A. Of course, we're just going to go through the alphabet. We're going to learn one letter a week, and then we're going to start doing quizzes, and I'm going to have you do a lot of different things, write things. As I said last week, when you're learning something, and this is me as a teacher, so listen up, kids. This is me. I learn by rewriting things a lot or by teaching things. So you're actually helping me to learn. I'm hoping I can help you to learn this too. I can teach you and we can talk about it, and then you can work with your friends and family and teach them it too. There's the letter A. I highly suggest it at least 20 or 30 times a day when you're just sitting around or just you got some free time. Just Google it. And this is just like from today. My handwriting wasn't great on every single one of them, but I kept rewriting the letter A in Aurebesh, and every time I would write it, you got the little down line, well, easy for you to say, draw a line over and then a diagonal-ish up to the right, and then you do the exact opposite underneath it. It looks like a K almost, but in Aurebesh, this is an A. And I've noticed it, I'm looking around at things in my home or when I'm looking up things online for some Star Wars stuff. When I see the A now in Aurebesh, it just hits me. So again, if I were you, just as a quick recap, and hopefully you've been doing this, I did say I was going to post something in the cafe to check in on people. Forgot to do that, but I trusted that you would do that. It's really the best way to learn, to keep writing it over again. So let's write a couple right now together. Does everybody have your notepads and your pencil or pen? Go ahead and write for me the letter A in Aurebesh 5 different times, and I will do the same right now. You can look at what's on screen or just use your paper that you've got. So I'm drawing a line down, left to right, straight across, and I'm going to go diagonally up to the right and meet the tip of the other one. I'm going to go down underneath it, line across, and then diagonally upside down. There is my A. Okay, and I know you won't be able to comment right now because you're doing the same thing. Line down, across, diagonal, line down, across, diagonal, opposite direction. Just keep doing it over and over again. Just keep saying to yourself the letter A over and over again in your brain, which I will not repeat because this is also a podcast in addition to a video. And there we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just did 5 more letter A's. Okay, there you go. So again, it will start to become second nature to you. I mean, eventually, at first, it's hard to remember this because it's been so long since all of you have learned to read and write. But as you're doing it, it suddenly becomes it's like learning a song or a poem or learning lines for a play. You just start to learn this stuff. All right. So there is the letter A. And I am ready to move on to our next letter for this week, which of course is the letter B. Is that a spoiler? I don't think so. But is everybody ready for me to proceed and go on to the letter B so we can start to learn how to write and read it? I think it's more important probably to read it than to write it because I can't imagine you'll be writing a lot of Aurebesh, but you might. And if you need to, it's great. So cool. In fact, we're planning for Steam into Star Wars, which of course Tom Gross does every year at the school where I teach and where he teaches as well as a librarian and the absolute ace of research. And I had to actually read some Aurebesh for somebody. And I, of course, couldn't do too much yet, but I was able to help. And that was a cool feeling, right? This is pretty cool. All right. So Terry says, I know the QWERTY lineup for the keyboard. I might see there's an Aurebesh emulator out there somewhere. There probably is. There probably is, Terry, for sure. But Terry, you're not exempt from this. I want you to learn how to read it too without the use of a keyboard. I want you to draw those letters A's for me, my friend. All right, let's go ahead to the new one. This week is the letter B. Now this one, it's a little bit similar to the A in a way because you had the diagonal line going up on the right and diagonal line going down on the bottom. This time they switched it over and there's like a dash right in the middle. It almost looks like a little flying saucer, like an 8-bit flying saucer or like a digital hamburger from the 80s. And those, I don't know if that's the best, but I think it makes sense. Or like an eye, I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and draw it right now. I'm going to draw my little line diagonally down, the opposite, draw a line across, and then draw a line down. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, diagonal over, diagonal up. And I'm going to draw a dash in the middle. Boy, I'm not an artist. I'm just not an artist. But there's my version of the letter B. Okay? And I'm going to keep doing this over and over again so that I can learn A, which I've already got, and now I'm going to add B. And at first, just like the push-up thing that we did, and I didn't make it through the whole thing because of, I don't even remember why now, but I didn't. But the premise is if you learn something new every day or just create a habit, you'll get it. So this, although you're thinking, well, I've got 26 letters to learn, that's a lot. It is. But if you just learn one a week, like by the time we get to M, N, O, and P, A and B are going to be like second nature to you because you just do them every day, every week. And you're just learning a new letter every week. So it's not so bad. Okay, so I'm going to draw a little more of my B. Got my diagonal line down, across. I probably need to set up some sort of a camera so you can see me doing it, because the studies show that when you watch someone do something, that's also a way to learn it too. The trick with this is the lines on the top and the bottom are so far apart from each other, and the dash in the middle is almost perfect. My last one was a lot better there on the other side of my finger. So that's B. I'm going to do one more. And I'm going to keep telling myself letter B, letter B, letter B. Hey, it sounds like the Beatles. Let it be. So there's my B, and that almost looks like I made a mouth. So there you go. If I don't remember to post this in the cafe, I want you to post how you're doing on your Aurebesh itself. Okay? Any questions for this? Again, I just think I just follow it straight through. There's A, again, which you should know really, really well. Looks like a K, but it's not. It's an A in Aurebesh. And there's your B, which think of like a little flying saucer, hamburger, and I, but all like through an 8-bit lens. And there you go. And this is pretty cool because I really feel like I'm starting to learn this. And I hope that you are too. If you got any comments or suggestions about how to help learn some of this stuff, I am happy to hear it. Happy to participate on that with you. But now, it's time to transition into our top 5. Let's do it. Let's do it, shall we? Okay, so today's top 5. Actually, let's get the little... Today's top 5 is your top 5 favorite Star Wars toys. Now, this was just, when you type in Star Wars toys on Google, you're going to see a lot of stuff. You're going to see an awful lot of stuff. But speaking of toys and Star Wars, I've actually got, before I even get into my list, I got some in the mail today. Andrew Harrison was nice enough to share with everybody in the CWK Cafe that the retro Ahsoka figures were available to pre-order, and I got Chopper. Now, here's what he looks like up close. Sorry for the glare. But when you see someone like Chopper, and he's retro, of course, is the appeal because it's similar to the classics that we grew up with in the 70s and 80s if you're of a certain age. I see this, and I bought 2 because I'm going to open this guy right now. Right now on the show, let me move my mic away. Still crazy that I'm actually opening this. Still can't help but try to open it in this fashion. Popping him out. Oh, I'm so excited to get my hands on this little dude. Chopper. Here he is. Oh, love him. He's so tiny. His head moves so satisfyingly. The dish on top doesn't move, but that's okay. There's the wheel. The wheel's just cosmetic. It doesn't actually spin. But there he is. There's our guy, Aaron Harris. Did you get your retro Chopper? I'm so happy that I've got him. Oh, man. Now, I didn't put him on my list because I didn't see him yet. I didn't even know he was out yet. But he is a fun little figure, which it's Chopper. So what else can you expect? If you would have told me years ago I'd be unboxing toys and opening them up, I would have said, what? No way. But yeah, here we are. Here we are. I'll put him on my notepad so you can see what it looks like with his wheel out like that. Yay, Chopper. Retro figure. You got Chopper. You've got a number of the other Ahsoka options for you. I'm actually going to put this guy right here because he's so awesome to look at. Love it. Okay. Let's go through our top 5s. Terry said that one already. Sorry. Terry says, I got a list tonight, but it deals with the OT series since I grew up with these. Don't let my bias hold anyone back with what they love. You know what? I'm glad you said that, Terry. That's very important. Mine are all very biased to from a certain era, but I realize depending on where you're at in your fandom and what generation you kind of fell in love with Star Wars, it's going to look differently for you. And that's marvelous. I think that's great. Never apologize for what you love. As long as you're not harming yourself or anybody else, I think it's totally great. Adam's number 5, the Tauntaun with the split belly. You could stick your Hoth Luke figure in. Nice. Now, do you mean the original ones from the Kenner line or the one that was Power of the Force stuff? Either way, that is a great one, Adam. Excuse me. Tyler says, looking forward to this. Mine are mostly prequels because that's got the most nostalgia attached. Fair enough. Terry says, totally understand the love for the retro series. It's the only collection I'm attempting to complete right now. I love the retro line. Jason Bracer, what's up, man? He says, hello, fellow coffee drinkers. Hello, Jason. Great to see you on the show. Mary's number 5, the life-size interactive Babu Freak. Ooh, you know what? Whenever I see that now, it helps me to think about David Motters and the Halcyon. But yeah, the life-size interactive Babu Freak. That is pretty cute. I didn't even think about that. That's adorable. David says, Aaron, it's Chop. His number 5 is the original Kenner TIE Fighter. Had it, pushed a button, the wings and panels flew off. Nice, David. That is a great one. And had that satisfying noise when you push the button, too. Number 5 for Terry is the Imperial Shuttle. I never had the Imperial Shuttle. That is a terrific one. Jason's 5, not a specific toy, but the many opportunities afforded by the toys to be creative and I'm going to try again. Not a specific toy, but the many opportunities afforded because of the toys that are imaginative and creative when I was a kid. Yes, Jason, I agree. It made a big difference in growing our fandom, didn't it? Henrik's number 5, Luke's X-Wing with Grogu that Mason gave to me last year. Aw, that's so sweet. I'm going to tell him you said that. That's so cool. Tyler's number 5, Revenge of the Sith, Anakin, Darth Vader, color-changing lightsaber. Lots of duels are fought with this one. Will always have a place in my heart. Okay, that's cool. I remember when that came out. I remember seeing it in stores and just thinking, what a great idea. What a great idea. So Mary and David remember Shug from the Halcyon. Great. I think I got everybody for their number 5. Oh, I guess I should actually give my number 5. How about that? Maybe I should do that. My number 5 is the Kenner Death Star. The Kenner Death Star, when I think about this now, I'm having sort of deja vu. Did we do a top 5 toys? I don't know, but we're doing one again, and it's going to be different because we have different people listening, and some are the same, but some are new, and I have a different idea, and everybody has different ideas, and, things change. Just like your taste buds change pretty regularly, so do your interest in what Star Wars toys are your favorite. But I love the Kenner Death Star. It's my favorite playset of all time. It's just like a kind of a very homogenized version of the Death Star itself. But it's got the grappling rope. It's got the trash compactor with the styrofoam trash. It's got the Dianoga, which is really the only way we ever thought of what they look like. We've got the bridge that goes across that Luke and Leia can swing across. There's some terminals. There's a cannon. There's a place in the back for Obi-Wan Kenobi to deactivate the tractor beam. And it's just cool. I'm looking at it right now. It was an absolute focal piece for my collection. And I always have to have that one displayed because it's a lot of great memories. My brother had one too. And it was just kind of fun. I kept better care of my stuff when I was a kid just because I was so worried about them breaking. My brother just played them and had fun. So you could always tell. But it's just a fun memory. I love that Death Star. I can't take my eyes off this guy. I just can't. He's the cutest. So fun. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. Jason's number 5 is the Hoth Carrier Shuttle with the places for the characters. Now that's a good choice. That's a good choice. I will say mine, actually I'm not going to say that because I'm going to break my rule for the next one. I was going to say everything on my list I have, but it's not true. Terry says that Hoth Escape Shuttle nearly made my list. It's a great one. I completely forgot about that one, Jason. All right, let's go to number 4. Looks like everybody's ready to go to number 4. I just got swept away talking about that Death Star. Number 4 for me is the original lightsaber. Now, I don't mean what you're thinking now and where you can actually duel with it, and it's got the plastic blade itself. Way, like in 1979, you could get a lightsaber with a black handle, and the lightsaber itself was inflatable, like a beach ball, but it was yellow. And you turned it on, and it lit up, and they only sold yellow. And it didn't really matter that there wasn't really a yellow lightsaber in A New Hope, besides the action figure of Luke. But boy, oh boy, was it great. I can actually remember being in the main floor of our living room when I grew up in Louisiana. And I remember playing with this. My brother had it, and we would duel with it. And it's just that satisfying noise of the beach ball style lightsabers hitting each other. And it was just great. I don't have one of those anymore. The local toy store, when toys were toys, has one. And I just go there and I drool over it because it's super cool. But that original lightsaber, before we had the amazing technology we have now, was just so incredible to me. All right. Tyler's for Attack of the Clones Jedi Starfighter. Remember buying this at KV Toys in the mall. It entertained me for hours. I just recently found it at my mom's and have it again. Now, isn't that great when you find your old stuff and I'm actually writing the letter B. You find your old stuff and it just feels great because you can enjoy it as an adult, but knowing you played it as a kid is just something special about that. Mary's number 4, a Grogu interactive where you rub the top of his head between his ears. He coos and babbles. So cute. These were my 2 current era toys. Those are both great ones, and they're very similar. They both remind me of Tom Gross. No, that's a compliment. Tom would laugh at that. But yeah, those are great choices. Number 4 for David, Luke Skywalker Landspeeder. Hood open and wheels on the bottom made it look like it was floating. So cool. And David, wasn't it satisfying when you would extend the wheels and you would roll it across the top of your table or your floor, and it would kind of have that hovering aesthetic to it. That is a great one. Adam's number 4 is like my number 5, the Death Star playset, which is an all-time great to me. Terry's number 4 is the Death Star playset. Hey, with escape hatch and trash compactor. I absolutely love it. So good. I need to post mine online. I gotta remember to do this stuff. I gotta quit having ideas. Will that work? I don't know. Number 4 for Mr. Fudge is a 212th Phase 2 Clone Trooper. That's a cool one. That's a very cool one. I appreciate the specificity of that. Number 4 for Jason, the green lights Luke Skywalker one-piece lightsaber from back in the day that made a humming, whistling sound when you swung it. I can hear it now, Jason, the whoosh, whoosh, because it would just take in it was almost like swinging like a wiffle ball bat. It was that same kind of a sound now that I think about it, but that's great. Hendrick's number 4 is lightsabers, and you can't go wrong with lightsabers. Burnt Waffles number 4 is the plastic lightsaber as well. So good. Burnt Waffles says I used to duel with my brother with the plastic lightsaber. It was fun but painful at the same time. Yes, you got to be careful with that stuff. Jason's number 4, the Vader head and shoulder character holder and carrier. That is great. I've got that one here as well. I know there was like a 3PO one and other ones, like a bandolier one and all that. But that Vader one was always special to me. I think it's because it was the first one and it was tied to The Empire Strikes Back. All right, let's go ahead and go to number 3. Number 3, Millennium Falcon. The original classic Millennium Falcon. It was not to scale. There have been bigger ones. There have been different modifications. There have been ones with lots of sound effects. All great. But that first Millennium Falcon, when you could take the top off of the rear of the top of the Falcon, you could remove the not the escape hatch, but the cargo. Why can I think of it? They were used for smuggling, and you could put your characters inside them or weapons. You've got the Jaric chest table. You could do that clicking of the Falcon's cannons. You could hold it underneath. There was like something at the front to hold, and there was 2 little spokes in the back that you put your hand through, and it was just so great. It's just such a great piece, and I absolutely love it. I mean, it's one that if I ever lost it, I would have to replace it because it's so important. Terry's 3 is a Kenner radio controlled R2-D2 from 78, 79. Now that is awesome, Terry. I do not have that. I would see it out places. I always marvel at how it might work, but I never had it. It's a good one. Darren's number 3 is a Lego Millennium Falcon. Nice. The first Lego mentioned for Star Wars toys, but a great one. Tyler's 3 is the Black Series Ahsoka live action. Ooh, I've got that up there. The best series has to offer great likeness, tons of posability, and has butterfly joints for using 2-handed lightsaber wielding. You're right. You're right, and it is a terrific likeness of Rosario Dawson for sure. Mary's 3 is the original plush Wicket from '83. She still has him. Okay, that is awesome. That's another one I didn't have. What a great one. I remember seeing those. Adam's 3 is Han Solo's blaster. That's super cool. A great sound. Jason's number 3 is the Advent Calendar Legos. Ooh, very fun. Hopefully you're getting ready to do that in a couple of days, Jason. Henrik's number 3 is action figures. Henrik, someday you got to share with me who your favorite one is. Jason's number 3 is Boba Fett's ship. It used to be called Slave One. Now it's just called Boba Fett's ship. But that thing, I think that I forgot to put that on my list, but that is a terrific toy. That is such a good toy. David's 3. Kenner's Empire Strikes Back AT-AT. So fun to play with and put action figures in it, and Luke hanging below it. Yes, such a satisfying thing, wasn't it? That and like you could move the legs and that kind of that huge clicking noise, just terrific. And I think it had the sounds too, not the real sounds, but we didn't care when we were kids. We just thought it was awesome. And Jason says that's such a cool toy, referring to the Fett ship. Yeah, it's great, so great. And it came with a 3 3/4 Han Solo in carbonite too. Look as always, whenever I talk, I'm sure some people listen to me with it slower. I don't know. But I talk about toys, I get even more excited because there's so many great Star Wars toys out there. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 is Kenner, the Kenner C3PO. Now, why C3PO? Is he my favorite character? No, I like 3PO, but that Kenner 3PO C3PO is the first Star Wars collectible I ever had. The first toy I ever had when I went to the Solo premiere and had the incredible good fortune and massive blessing to meet George Lucas. In my pocket, I had that Kenner C3PO, and it was a reminder to me of how far life has taken me and how far my fandom has taken me, being from a kid who didn't even know what this little golden robot was, but I really thought he was cool, and I knew it was Star Wars before I even saw the movie. I knew I loved it, and now, our fandom and our experiences have grown so much. And that first figure, I'm very glad I even remember it, will always be special to me. Always. Number 2, David said did have the sounds. Yeah, but the original Kenner one didn't have like the sounds from the movies, right? Maybe it did. I thought it was just like a generic buzzing noise like the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter. But if not, now I gotta get it even more. Darren's number 2 is the Force of FX Vader lightsaber, a classic. Number 2 for Adam is the original Rancor. I never had that one either, but that was one that everybody thought, if you were on the neighborhood block and your friend had that Rancor, everybody wanted to go to that kid's house and play it, at least when I was growing up, because it was awesome. Terry's same as my 3, the Millennium Falcon 79 with the lighted chin guns and the weapons pack. It's just magical. Just so magical. Number 2 for Jason, the vehicle like Luke's X-Wing and Land Speeder and the Imperial Troop Transport. That is one I've never had. I've always wanted to have that one. Hendrix number 2 is Legos. Star Wars Legos are such an awesome thing. The voice activated for Mary. The voice activated 18 inches tall R2 from the early 2000s. Bought him for Chaz when he was little. We still turn him on and say, "Hey, R2." So much fun hearing those beeps and boops. That's great. You've got to have quite a cool collection, Mary. That's so fun. Number 2 for Burnt Waffle is the Lego Clone Troopers. And there's so many to choose from. You could have a collection only of Lego Clone Troopers and you would be totally set. David said, yes, there were generic sounds. Okay. I was starting to feel, I always knew I was missing out, but if they were the real sounds, I would have been like, oh no. So I'm still missing out because it's a great one. Great one, David. Excuse me. Tyler's next one is the Phantom Menace Deluxe Dual Figures. I had the Qui-Gon. Oh, I had that one too. Came with a mini lightsaber that attached around his waist. If you squeeze the saber, he would swing around and duel the other figures. Those Phantom Menace merchandise pieces and toys, and I know they got kind of a bad rap because so many were produced. But if that wasn't one of the best times of my life for being a Star Wars fan, I don't know what is. The Phantom Menace fever was just incredible. And everything that came out, we just were so excited about. It was great. Jason's number 2 is the Cloud City security ship, so the twin cloud car. It's awesome. I had the diecast one, which is a little bit bigger than a normal diecast, and then the Kenner one. They're the 3 3/4 inch figures fit in. I'm assuming that's what you mean, Jason. That's a great one. I gotta clear my throat. Excuse me. It's like I'm talking a lot or something. Number 2 for David, the original Kenner Rancor. It's so fun for the Rancor to hold other figures in his hands. I always liked that too, and the fact you could put the Gamorrean guards in there was so fun. Terry said I should have said the AT-AT instead of the Falcon. You know what? We'll just pretend like you did, Terry. All good, my friend. All good. But now, it is time for our number 1 favorite Star Wars toy. This one I picked because I've said many times, I think it's the single greatest action figure ever made. Is it is it the one that I would seek out? I don't know. I feel like I've got so many of them now, but they're mostly the retro version. But I mean, I'm just going to pretend like I'm starting over. I'm starting over. Boba Fett was such a big deal. Before we even saw him on screen, he was a mail away figure. If you had a certain amount of proof of purchases, when I would get extra Jawas or Sand People or Stormtroopers, I would save those proofs of purchase, and I mailed away for Boba Fett. I remember getting him in the mail, and there was no way of tracking it back then that I'm aware of. And so, you forget about it because so much time goes by. And then one day I got a little small package in the mail. I think it was a white box. Open it up. There's Boba Fett. And I brought him to school. And I was on the school bus on the way to school. And I had the window down. They allowed us to do it then. And I put the figure out and I put his hands up in the air. And I reached out. And he just flew. I didn't actually fly. I was just holding him with me as I had my arm out, and I didn't know anything about Boba Fett. I just knew he was a Star Wars character, and he looked like a super awesome hybrid stormtrooper, which ironically he kind of ended up being. So I still maintain that as the greatest single action figure ever made. So I made it my number 1 top Star Wars toy. Let's see. Number 1 for Adam, all the original Kenner action figures. They're great. Hard to choose from. They're so awesome. Mary's number 1, the original set of 77 action figures we had to send a card away for them to be delivered after Christmas of 77. I made sure those made it to Orlando safely this year. That was wise. Those came out in 78. Great stuff. Oh, cool for Darren. Number 1 Star Wars Armada game models. Oh, wow. I would love to see your collection sometime, Darren. That's cool. Tyler's number 1, the Mustafar Final Duel playset. Action-packed and great for display. I still have all the pieces in my toy room. It was eventually repainted for an Akator playset from the Indiana Jones line. I never thought about that. It is the same playset. That's a great one. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Then Mr. Fudge number 1 is the Black Series Sith Trooper. Sweet. When those came out, they were just staggeringly cool. Jason's number 1 Imperial Scout Trooper action figure from Return of the Jedi. This was my favorite action figure when I was a kid. I love it. Number 1 for Henrik is the Star Wars Advent Calendar Legos. So I'm guessing you and your dad have like a tradition, Henrik, where you open them every day. I love that. I think that's such a great memory to do. Terry's number 1, the Millennium Falcon 79, where you could use the front landing gear as a grip to fly the ship. That's what I was trying to explain earlier. You explained it much better than me, but that was so handy, pun sort of intended, and also looked cool too. David's says, all my Kenner action figures from 78 through Empire and Jedi, still have all of them. I do too. In fact, I've got them all right here. I need to take a picture and post that. Jason was reiterating, the mail-in was awesome. Any mail-in for Star Wars was the best. Number 1 for Jason, though, is R2-D2. Burnt Waffle's first figure is Qui-Gon. I love Qui-Gon Jinn. He's a great figure. And just awesome. Yeah, he was one of the first ones that ever came out. First wave. Jason says, we've been doing the Advent calendar for years now. This year we've had a Harry Potter. Wow, there's so many, aren't there? And they're just so cool. Wow, it's 7:40 already. Wow. Amazing. Okay, I think my self-diagnosed ADD is showing up because I'm really bouncing around all over the place. But thank you, everybody. Next week, we're going to go back to Ahsoka. And you're going to share with me your top 5 Ahsoka episodes. There were 8 of them. I'm going to ask you to pick your top 5 favorites and rank them. How about that? So I look forward to that and kind of revisiting that series and ranking our top fives. Now, let's go ahead and let's jump ahead to Ask Dan Z. Oh, where'd I go? Here I am. Oh, weird. Sorry, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's do that. Okay, that works. So questions. When is the last day of school for you and Tom? I think my last day of school is the 22nd. And we go to school on the 22nd, and we get 2 days off before Christmas. So yeah, it's a late one, but then we have a much longer break after Christmas, which is very unique and actually kind of nice. Really kind of cool. I feel like there was something else I was going to mention. We did the Aurebesh, I opened the chopper. I can't remember. Any word on the dates for the CWK Wish cruise? My wife and I are excited to get back on the ship. You know what, Tyler? No dates have been announced yet, but as soon as they are, I will definitely let you know. How long did it take you to set up your Christmas decorations? Long time. Not only in here, but in our home and outside. Probably took 8 or 9 hours. Took a long time, but totally worth it. I know what I was going to say. If you're on the CWK Cafe today earlier, I'm actually going to be talking with the geniuses behind the Star Wars Hasbro line, the creators, the people who market it, the people who design the figures, and I got permission to ask my friends here, my members of the CWK family, if you have a question that you want me to ask the Star Wars Hasbro team, then please put it in the CWK Cafe. I'm supposed to send them to them tonight. The sooner you can send them in to me, the more likely that I will do my best to ask you them. When can we do Star Wars Trivia again? I need to do that, don't I? I'd say next week or the week after. Let me look at my schedule. Out of all the interviews and guests, which is a favorite? Oh, gosh. That's a great question, Jason. It's been 10 years of the show, over 700 episodes. I've got a lot of great ones. Interviewing James Arnold Taylor is really special because he's such a nice man. I love interviewing Steve Sansweet, and those interviews have turned into a friendship the two of us have, and which is great. So that's cool too. But honestly, I don't know. I just like talking Star Wars with people that or just happy to talk about something that we love. And it becomes very contagious, as you know. And that's why I love this community so much. So those are fun questions. Well, thank you, everybody, so much. It's a little bit longer of a show, but I hope you had a great time. I certainly had a great time talking Star Wars toys with each and every one of you. Tyler Papa mentioned. Tyler, great to see you tonight, buddy. The Disney Wish. Summer 2025, Coffee with Kenobi is going on the ship with Mouse Fan Travel, and we want you to join us. Start saving your money, and when we have a date, I will let you know ASAP. Disney has not released them yet, but we will keep our eyes open. Hopefully you got a chance to see the Coffee with Kenobi Christmas logo. That is what is on all of your podcast feeds now, hopefully. And if you like it, you can get a shirt or a coffee mug or a lot of different things of it on our TeePublic store. That is coffeewithkenobi.com/shop. I will see you next week, everybody. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for each of you. Looking forward to celebrating the Christmas season with all of you. I will talk to you very soon. May the stars light your way, my friends. And remember, this is the podcast.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.